Welcome to This Explainer. You know, humanity is right on the edge of a completely new technological era. We're talking about a time where AI isn't just going to be some app you tap on your phone, but literally the primary interface between us and the entire digital world. Today, we're taking a fascinating journey from the AI app fatigue you're probably feeling right now, all the way to a revolutionary, unified future of computing. It's an absolutely brilliant proposal known as the Open Intelligence Network. If you use artificial intelligence in your daily life, you are definitely going to want to pay close attention to this. Let me ask you a very real question. Are you totally exhausted by having to constantly switch between a dozen different disconnected AI apps just to get a single project done? Think about your workflow for a second. You probably suffer from what's called AI subscription fatigue. We all know the feeling. You've got 15 different browser tabs open just to draft one email, analyze a spreadsheet, and then generate an image to match it. We're living in this highly fragmented ecosystem, and while the underlying tech is basically magic at this point, the actual day-to-day user experience, well, it's incredibly disjointed. Okay, let's really dive into this. Right now, the world's absolute best AI systems are developing in parallel, totally separated from one another. We've got heavyweights out there, OpenAI, Google DeepMind, Anthropic, Meta AI, xAI, and every single one of these companies is building extraordinary technology. But because they're completely isolated, we're stuck dealing with disconnected apps, memory systems that don't talk to each other, and just a ton of duplicated tools. This fragmentation actually slows down innovation. It confuses users, and it creates these unnecessary rivalries during what is arguably the single most important technological transition in human history. To really understand how we fix this mess, I want you to imagine if the early internet was completely siloed. Like, what if you literally couldn't send an email from a Yahoo account to a Gmail account? Or imagine needing a totally different proprietary cable for every single electronic device you own. Sounds awful, right? The internet only became the global powerhouse it is today because the world came together and adopted shared protocols, things we use every day like HTTP, Wi-Fi, and USB. Artificial intelligence desperately needs this exact same evolution right now to hit its full potential. So the crucial point here is the proposed solution, the Open Intelligence Network, or OIN. Think of it as a universal interoperability layer for AI. It's basically a framework that allows the world's most advanced AI systems to actually talk and work together inside a shared Superapp ecosystem. And notice what it's not. It is absolutely not one giant company controlling everything. It's a shared space where different intelligence systems cooperate. Just imagine what the Superapp ecosystem would look like in real life. It's kind of like a perfectly conducted orchestra where you don't even have to worry about who is playing which instrument. You could leverage GPT systems for complex multimodal reasoning, tap into Gemini for deep search integration, seamlessly switch to Claude for analyzing massively long documents, use Grok for live social intelligence, and tap Meta AI for local open source deployment. The beauty is, you wouldn't have to manage 5 different subscriptions or constantly juggle interfaces. You just communicate naturally, and the ecosystem handles the whole shebang in total harmony. All of this builds into an incredibly automated workflow called dynamic task routing. You just give the Superapp a complex objective, and it dynamically routes the specific tasks to the absolute best intelligent system for the job. In one seamless project, you could have one AI out there doing the deep research, another one actually writing the underlying code based on that research, a third designing the visual assets, and a fourth analyzing the entire thing for legal risk. It creates this fully coordinated intelligence pipeline without you having to lift a finger between steps. It's a real game changer. And you know, this coordination goes way, way beyond just getting work done faster. The ultimate vision is to create a global education and employment operating system. Imagine a world where every single person on Earth starts to truly learn and get educated, guided by a personal assistant that fundamentally understands their specific life goals and their bank account constraints. This system could literally find you better life situations and jobs without you constantly having to manually fill out applications. It operates entirely on your behalf to tangibly improve your life. When you zoom out, the massive global benefits for humanity are truly staggering. First off, we get accelerated innovation because sharing standards creates an exponential boom in development speed. Then comes the profound human impact. Advanced AI becomes highly accessible for schools, families, and developing nations, which immediately cuts down that fragmentation we were talking about. And crucially, it improves safety through cooperative oversight. It actively prevents these isolated, reckless races toward artificial general intelligence. Economically, a shared AI marketplace unlocks entirely new industries and massive global productivity. Now, you might be wondering, how do we actually govern all this without creating some terrifying global monopoly? Well, the proposal calls for a really delicate balance orchestrated by an independent global consortium. The participating companies, they keep absolute ownership over what matters to them: their models, their infrastructure, their research, and their proprietary systems. The consortium only steps in to govern the shared interoperability standards, cooperative safety frameworks, and open communication protocols. It's basically the perfect balance to maintain trust, transparency, and stability, all while letting companies fiercely compete and profit. And this brings us to the long-term vision. We are looking at a fundamental shift in how we interact with technology itself. The future of computing won't revolve around navigating through apps anymore. It's going to revolve entirely around intelligence. Instead of clicking through endless, confusing menus and software suites, you'll just sit down at your device and give a simple, goal-oriented command. You'll literally just say, "Build this," and the unified ecosystem will automatically orchestrate the right tools and agents to get it done. The exact same goes for learning. You'll just tell it, "Teach this," and instantly the ecosystem will pull from the world's best educational models, adapt precisely to your specific learning style, and orchestrate a customized curriculum for you right on the spot. It means anyone, anywhere on Earth, can truly learn any subject without all the traditional friction. When you're faced with incredibly complex logistical, business, or mathematical hurdles, the command just becomes, "Solve this." The days of manually navigating specialized, clunky software to find an answer are numbered. The Open Intelligence Network simply acts as this brilliant, intelligent orchestrator. It parses the problem, routes it to the most capable AI, and hands the solution directly back to you. And perhaps the most profound leap of all, imagine just being able to say, "Cure this." By actually uniting the world's intelligence engines rather than keeping them locked in isolated silos, we aren't just connecting computers anymore. We're building a digital nervous system for civilization. This unified infrastructure becomes the ultimate accelerator of medicine and the primary interface for monumental scientific discovery, finally tackling humanity's biggest challenges collaboratively. Think about what the internet did for static information. It took isolated servers and linked them together, which fundamentally changed human history forever. The Open Intelligence Network is proposing the exact same leap, but for intelligence itself. The companies that establish these interoperability standards first, they aren't just going to lead the AI revolution, they are literally going to shape the entire next century of computing. The next era of human progress simply won't be defined by isolated silos competing endlessly with one another. The age of isolated systems is ending, and the age of collaborative intelligence is waiting to begin. So as this globally unified digital nervous system comes online, it leaves us with one massive question. How will you use this new era of collaborative intelligence to expand your own potential?